Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward for Lettermen Row, back with another BuckIQ basketball version. Got the Ohio State big man Terence Dials in the building, and after that rough January, Terence, we didn't have much to talk about. Part of that may have been because Kyle Young was missing, but just that really difficult 5-game stretch. Now Ohio State's got some momentum going again.
Well, I think in the Big Ten you're going to have stretches like that, and not for Ohio State, but for every team. As you see, Michigan State on a 3-game skid as well. I think it happens to the best of them, and hopefully Ohio State has already gone through their rough patch and nothing but green pastures ahead.
I touched on that Kyle Young absence. There's just, as you know, you look at this roster, there's not a lot of big men that were available to them. You take him out of the lineup. I think Ohio State was in some ways fortunate to survive the way it did, but they got him back against Penn State, made an impact.
Yeah, he definitely made an impact, and Kyle Young hurt the team not being there. We're very thin in the front court as it is, and then when Caleb gets in foul trouble, which he seems to do every game, we're stuck to going a very small lineup. I think having Kyle out there definitely helps us out.
So February already off to a better note for the Buckeyes. Kyle Young is also back from that stress fracture in his leg. Looking at what he provided in that first game, what he can give the Buckeyes moving forward, Terence will break it down as we roll the tape.
Is the embodiment of what Pat Chambers wants this team to be on the defensive end of the floor. I thought he was terrific at Northwestern, made huge plays down the stretch. And how about that huge play? That's for this Penn State team that's been consistent whatsoever here. Again, to be kind of hanging around down 11. Have to think if you can keep this within reason, it's only a matter of time. Jackson with 5. Young down low. Scores for the lead. And a foul. Against the freshman Muhammad. Double, triple. They get the ball. Reeves bats it in the air. Wow. And out of bounds.
All right, Terence, so after that stress fracture, you get Kyle Young back in the Ohio State lineup, and I really look at him as one of the most consistent game-in and game-out performers. He doesn't put up otherworldly stats, but you pretty much know what you're going to get from him, and that's been important for the Buckeyes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kyle, he had a year under his belt last year as a freshman year. He didn't play much, but he definitely come back this year with the vengeance, wanting to play. And, anytime you have a smart defender on your team, you're going to do well.
Are there guys that you've been with in your career where, I'm sure there have been, I mean, those are those important role players that you look at that you're not going to get 25 points and 10 boards, but 10 and 5 some nights, and it's going to be there. That's important to a team.
Always needed. Those role players. Can you roll that back? Can you roll back? If you notice here, Kyle, he's fighting a post right now. And this is just a simple knowing where your man is and knowing where the ball is. He was able to get the block just because he was fighting in the right position. You know, he knows his man's back here. He can't affect anything right now. He sold out for the block, and it helped.
So much of that, too, Terence, is not only reading the play, but also knowing your scouting report where the danger is, correct?
Absolutely. I know the coaching staff does a great job of scouting the other teams, and I know we had a full scouting report. It was almost like a booklet. When I played, and I can only imagine 15 years later how much more advanced they are.
Right.
So you kind of know every player, their tendencies, and what they like to do.
A lot of what he does, defensively, is not always going to show up in that stat book, but a lot of energy I think you find from Kyle Young, and that he also does that on the offensive glass, which has been huge, and it's an example of him being aggressive with the basketball. That's
something we were lacking when he was out. Was that 4-man, that aggressive 4-man.
Right.
I know, we had a freshman come in and try to spell him a little bit, but he's just not ready.
Having him back, you're talking about Jaden Ledee there. That guy's not ready, and Kyle Young was the same way last year, right? That's what it's like to be a big freshman.
That exactly what it's like, Those elite freshmen play, but
sure.
The majority of the freshmen are going to be like Kyle and everybody else on the Ohio State team. They're not going to be superstars.
I think people too. We talked about the losing streak, and then even the way that Ohio State started the year, it almost masked the fact that there were going to be some difficulties. That it just wasn't always going to be as easy. And even last night, you're looking here. This is the last 2 minutes of the game, and a battle with Penn State with a losing record. They're struggling. It's hard to win games in the Big Ten.
Every game is hard. And I think that's a big testament to the coaching staffs that we have in the Big Ten. They prepare their teams very well. Great coaches, and sometimes you just run out of talent, which is what Penn State does this year.
And then here's the one that decides it. You don't think it's big to have Kyle Young back? We'll watch this possession down when the game is getting really squirrely. And this is hard not to foul in this situation, right, too, Terence?
But if you look at his positioning, you can go back a little bit. His man is over here in the deep corner. So this is what we teach kids every day. Right here in the front of the rim, head in it. If your man's on the deep corner, now he's in great position for help side defense. His man is not going to affect him. This guy's head down, going to the rim. You know he's going to sell out for that. Just a great job of being in the right defensive positioning.
So a couple blocks there for Kyle Young, a bunch of rebounds, a couple big baskets as well. This finish obviously got a little weirder after that for Ohio State, but they survived with that important win. They hold serve in the Big Ten. You know, every win is going to be important from here on out, starting Sunday on the road against Indiana.
Absolutely. If we want to get to the tournament, I think, you know, obviously these last few games have been important, but the work isn't done.
Plenty ahead, a lot more basketball to watch, so a lot more for Terence Dials to break down with us here at Lettermen Row BuckIQ. Always great to have the insight from the big man. He'll be watching as the Buckeyes try to make this run here down the stretch. For Terence, I'm Austin Ward for Lettermen Row BuckIQ. We'll see you next time.